Hi, my name is Ben Blackwell. We're here in Nashville, Tennessee at United Record Pressing, the preeminent record pressing plant here in the United States. I work for Third Man Records just down the road, but we're going to walk in here, take a peek at all the wonderful, fun things that happen at a pressing plant, maybe teach you some things of the process that you never knew before. So let's walk in and take a look. United's existed as a company since the late 40s. They started as a company called Southern Plastics. They've been on this location and under the name United Record Pressing since the late 60s. If you put out something on vinyl, it's more than likely you've been pressed at United. They do the bulk of the manufacturing for major labels like Sony and Universal. They also do lots of independent labels like Matador, the Beggars Group, Third Man, the millions upon millions of records that have been pressed here. I would say not only am I a customer at United Record Pressing, but I've also made it up on the wall. Been walking in and out of here for the past 4 years. Most people never paying any attention, but within 2 days of that being up, people were stopping me walking through here, employees that have seen me 1,000 times. Is that you up there? It kind of looks like you. We pressed 1,000 copies of it. Okay, I'm not a superstar. So here we're at an actual vinyl record press. This is a SMT Press, which was originally manufactured in Nashville, Tennessee, right here. They don't make new vinyl presses anymore. The last new one was made in 1980. What you're dealing with here is basically the height of 1960s technology. What you start off with is the hopper here. And the hopper is where you have the raw vinyl fed in. The raw vinyl comes in pellet form like that. The raw vinyl is heated up and compressed into what's affectionately called a puck or a cake. The puck or the cake is going to be right here. The labels, A-side and B-side labels, are compressed into the record as part of the structure of the vinyl itself. If you try to press a record without labels, usually it can be off center, it can be warped. The labels are there to kind of make sure it keeps it flat. And then the puck with the labels on it is fed into the main compression. Those come down and compress to about 6,000 pounds of steam pressure. The last step in the process is what you call trimming the excess or trimming the flash. You think of almost like a waffle maker. When you do a compression, there's the stuff that squeezes out the edge, and it just needs to be trimmed off. And so what you get is going to look like this. It's very, very hot, but it's super soft, pliable, and that's all collected down here. All of this will be reground into vinyl pellets and reused. The finished record ends up on a spindle right here. Penny in the quarters. I think the biggest hit numero groups had. So we are currently upstairs here at United. Kind of a general purpose room. Hank Williams Jr. had, I believe, his 16th birthday party here. They've used it for signings and other promotional events like that. But personally, tied into Third Man, the Wanda Jackson video for Thunder on the Mountain was actually shot up here. United here does a lot of cool things with colored vinyl. You can see the different kinds of colored vinyl they have here, from white and blue and orange and pink. This is particularly one of my favorites. This is glow-in-the-dark vinyl. We did a limited run of records back in 2009 where we repressed all of our records at the time on glow-in-the-dark vinyl. Looks really, really cool. Lights up the room. Sounds like hell. Noisy. You would not want to do it if you're at all an audiophile. It's definitely something to look at. Like we saw down at the actual presses, when you're pressing the record, the excess vinyl gets trimmed off and collected in a bucket underneath. They keep all of the excess trimmed vinyl from a colored vinyl, say it's a blue record. They keep that separate, and they'll make offers on their website of what they call randomly mixed colored vinyl, where they take all the scrap vinyl, so they'll have red and blue and green and all that stuff, and just throw it together and offer that cheaper than they offer plain black vinyl. The cool thing about randomly mixed colored vinyl is no two are going to look the same. On this one, you got an overall green hue, but you also have a little purple and some white and some yellow, flecks of black in there. It's a great way to be super green about it. This is all being recycled. are in what's called the Motown Suite. What this room is back in the 1960s, United did a lot of pressing for labels like Motown, predominantly African-American labels. There were still remnants of Jim Crow policies and treatment here in Nashville, and so what United ended up doing was they converted this upstairs area into quarters where someone could sleep overnight. And they've kept it this way, basically unchanged from how it would have been in the 1960s. We've got a bathroom, which is used for bathing. But you also have sleeping quarters. 2 twin beds, kind of like how my grandparents' beds were. You also have the old style, vintage kitchen. Save for a new coffee machine, this is all nice old Frigidaire, all that stuff. I'm not aware of any other pressing plant that has anything similar. So this is one of the cool things at United. They have a manual press. My favorite thing that they basically figured out how to do because of Third Man, we came to them and asked them, we want something we can do a limited version of each of our 7 inches. We call this the Tricolor, and what's done in this process is where you regularly have a single colored puck like this. With the Tricolor process, you start off with 3 different pucks and hand assembled into a little mutant Frankenstein puck. The labels are applied by hand, and then it's then taken through the manual press. It's put in here, you pop a button, and you get the record compressed. It's a super labor-intensive process. We usually only do 150 copies. You definitely pay extra for it, but it's something that we do. We like to cater towards record collectors. You think of how people used to experience media, whether it's television or music or radio or anything. In the past, it was experienced in a group. You would watch TV with your family, you would sit and listen to the radio, whatever. But the idea now that you can talk about Harlem Shake videos and everyone knows what you're talking about, but almost no one has watched them together. It's a shared experience that's happening in solitude. I think there's some magic to a shared experience that's happening in a group. And that's something that is much more conducive to vinyl than listening to an iPod, you know? This is a vinyl copy of the new Yeah Yeah Yeahs LP. As much as I'd really like to grab this and take it and go listen to it, I'll put it back on the press. As soon as you turn that off, I'm going to grab it back and I'm going to go listen.